Good morning, Dr. Hyrule. Thank you for joining us and thank you for agreeing to be part of our interview. My name is Joshua. I'm representing Group 2 of the Women, Children, Adolescent Health Program under MPH Session 2021. Um, Before we start our short interview, perhaps you could share a little bit about yourself, the work that you do, and the NGO that you're involved in.
Okay, thank you, Joshua. Assalamualaikum, a very good morning to all. Thank you, Joshua, for inviting me in this interview. I've been honored because I can have some opportunity for me to give some opinions about regarding the topics that he brought to me. So my name is Khairul Hafiz Al-Khair bin Khairul Amin. I am now a year 1 DRPH student in UPM. Previously, I worked in non-communicable disease department in HQ. So most of my work is relating to policy making in the non-communicable disease, and in part of that, I am also a founder and also uh, um, the president of the Medical Tweet Malaysia, MedTweetMy. It is a social media NGO where we give health information to the public, especially in Twitter. So this NGO has been established since 2016, and yeah, what we do is try to give some health information to the public and to bust some myth that been actually spreaded in the community so that they can understand the real facts regarding health information.
Thank you for sharing, Dr. Hafiz. It's surprising to hear about these challenges that you're facing. In fact, as a medical practitioner and also as a public health student, um, many of us are impressed with the work that you're doing. It's the first of its kind that we know of in Malaysia, and what is more important is that you have qualified experts in the field, and you also have KKM's recognition of your work. So I think that's testament of the good job that you're doing. Um, we were, from your experience, Dr. Hafiz, working on ground and also as a policy maker we are at the Ministry of Health. What I, since our topic is about traditional medicine among Malaysian women and is it warranted or not? So, what are the common myths and traditional practices that you have observed while interacting with the Malaysian public?
So I can see, thank you, Joshua, for the question. I can see there are two parts of the question one, what is the common myth, and what is the common issue relating to the traditional medicine relating to the woman. So first, maybe I can uh, widen up our scope. What is actually the common of the woman in Malaysia? Uh, I still remember in our first establishment of our NGO MedTweetMy, the first thing that we do is we create a hashtag in Perang Melawan Mitos, which is we start to educate our public regarding all these health issues, the myth issues that been for me been informed by their Datuk Nenek previously lah, because this one is some knowledge that we have been go down from their grandparents, their parents, and to them. And bear in mind, this kind of information is very strong embedded into their mind, and it is hard for them to actually accept other information that contrast to the information that they are already believe in. This is something that we have to understand. So there are a lot of common myths that related to the women's. For instance, we can see that they think I always encounter a myth related to the menstruation. So they say that when you drink ice, so your height akan jadi berketul-ketul. And when you are in the menstruation, you cannot wash your hair because of the pores in and your hair is now is more widened than before the menstruation, and it can cause actually some headache. And you can see that when you uh, drink ice can cause obesity, abdominal obesity, buncit. And also they say that when you drink ice as well, your uterus now is being berkembang. So this is kind of a common myth. And also they say that wearing bra is can cause breast cancer. Uh, but uh, and also related to the menstruation, they say that when you are in the menstruation phase, you cannot go exercises because it can cause you a lot of fatigue and all. And I think for more specific issue that is been asking here regarding the traditional medicine among the women, I think our discussion will go mostly on this issue, which is berpantang selepas bersalin. This is something for me very close in our society, where in Western country this is not been done within their community. But in Malaysia or maybe Southeast Asia, this belief is still strongly being followed by all the ibu-ibu di Malaysia. So we can see that what happened in the Pepantang, that they now need to limit their water intake. They cannot. They have to limit their movement. They just need to lie in bed, and also there are a lot of herbs or medicines, traditional medicines, they need to consume. For them, they want to say that it can improve the mother's postpartum health. And this is something that actually we really afraid of, because when you limit your water and you limit your movement, it can have the mother will have a risk of thrombosis and pulmonary embolism. So this is the thing that we need to try to figure out how we want to make sure this kind of traditional belief need to be changed. And I have one experience with one of my patient when I'm in a district hospital one time ago, where this 3 weeks postpartum mother come to us with fatigue, and when we check his blood, the HB is 4, because of we now realize when we ask for more history, this mother is actually just taking ikan bilis only, no nutritional food at all, and do not take our hematinics, our medicine to increase
Supplement.
the HB. So this is because of the mother asked her mother asked to berpantang, and they have to limit all these nutritious food and just makan ikan bilis. The anchovies, so just the anchovies. So this is the thing that we are, I think, the most relevant issues regarding your questions.
Understood. Thank you, Dr. Hafiz. In fact, when our group did our research together, we never came across stories such as this. So, your sharing has definitely been of value to us. Um, from your opinion, what are the factors apart from hereditary passed on messages? What are the other factors that fuel these kind of superstitions or practices?
What from my experience, I can see that mostly because of the past generation to generation of information that came from their hereditary. That is the most of the sources. I can see that another sources that they can get is from the friends, because of the mother. Now he is now pregnant, so he try to get some information to other mothers, so the other mother also giving this mother an advice to berpantang after dah start beranak. This is something that always because of the peer pressure, the peer information, that now he start to have some belief that berpantang is a must after you beranak. And also you can see this also been supplemented when they start searching the information in social media or in the internet. They're googling, so now they see a lot of information regarding the pepantang. So now and they believe that pepantang is a must. And also they have some groups in FB, for example, group ibu-ibu hamil, where they start joining this group for the sake of they want to get some information.
Advice.
But the problem is the one that giving the information in the group is somebody is not qualified to give any advice. The other sources that they can get is some seller of the
Yes,
product or
yes.
traditional product, because
Mm,
they wanted to sell their products, so they use a lot of strategy where they want to make believe that the product is something that they must take after they have birth, giving birth. So a lot of factors I can see here, a lot of sources they can give. And this added by the mother herself did not have a science background. I can see that when the mother have lack of science background, lack of exposure during her life, so a lot of people can influence easily of this mother when they give the information. That is a very we have to understand. Not all people in a secondary school they are in a science stream subject. So this is something that we have to understand when we want to give some awareness in the future. This is we have must have this back in our mind, that our level of awareness regarding science is maybe not as same as their level of uh, understanding the science. We need to lower uh, our our understanding, our explanation for them to understand.
You touched on a very important point, which I was thinking of raising in my fourth question, which is scientific background amongst Malaysian women. But before we go into that, uh, perhaps we would touch on the cultural aspects first, because culture is vital to our identity as a community, as a Malaysian community. Culture is very much part of an individual. So, how do we bridge this gap to be sensitive with the local population and also to bring in scientific evidences in relating to Malaysian society as public health officials?
Yeah, thank you. This is actually a very important question, because when you are public health uh, officials, so you need to think like a public health. And one of the thing we have to know the social background of the people, and culture is one of the things that we need uh, to take one of our determinants when we are trying to change the behavior, to change the perception of the public. So we need to understand the culture of the people at your place. because our culture is not the same as the culture in the in people in the Western, people in the South Africa, in the people in the China. So the culture is different. So the first thing we as the public health officials, we need to understand the culture. So when we know the culture, so I relate back to our issue, to our case, where now we see berpantang is one of the culture of a Malay woman. For me, is that we cannot straight away condemn the culture, but what we can do is we empower the woman what is the right thing to do. So this is the thing that our public health officials can do. We empower the woman, meaning that we try to find the middle point of the issue. What is the middle point? Okay, we know that some of the traditional belief, some of them may be good, not harmful, but some of them might be harmful. So what we can do is we can actually loosen up a bit, saying that this thing can be done, but there are things that they need to be careful.
Understood. Thank you, Dr. Hafiz. Um, you yourself, you are a policymaker in the Ministry of Health, and from as a policymaker, what are the strengths or weaknesses that the KKM has in dealing with this, bridging this gap between scientific evidence-backed practices and also traditional practices which may be harmful to Malaysian population?
So some of the things that maybe indirectly uh, try to understand this kind of culture issue or traditional issue with TCM, the TCM department, traditional and complementary department, where now they start to figure out that maybe there are some of the traditional medicine can be complement the treatment to the mother or to the patient. It's still far-fetched, long way to go, but if they can do it nicely, they can do it right, maybe this issue can be addressed. But so far, there is still the effort of for me, the people on the ground itself, the medical officers, the specialists, they have to understand, and also they need to blend in with the culture. We as a public health officer need to remind our teams in the ground, on the ground, saying that okay, this is an issue, how we want to solve it, this is the strategy, that is what we do. We as a public health officials also do not be too rigid on this cultural issue. We need to have
Compromise.
some flexibility. Yeah, we need to compromise. We know where we can actually loosen up a bit and where we need to be firm. For me, nak pakai bekung, pakailah. Jangan sampai kau sakit perut. Tapi kalau kata tak boleh minum air, I cannot allow you to do that. You need to drink a lot of water, like that. So for us as a public health officials, we need to know this is something issue in the public health issues in our area, and then we need to say give the mindset to our Christian friends so that they can address this issue right. Do not condemn the culture. Work with them. Work with the mother. Work with the parents. Then we can have a good outcome from our policy, and or maybe in our act. So for me, senang cerita, communication skills is something that we need to refine so that we can communicate with our patients and also to our colleague better. So so far in a PKD, we cannot see some policy that is being made to address this pepantang issue. But if you are a MOH at the uh, apa, at the district one day, maybe what you can do is some jawatan kuasa ataupun some groups for you to have, or some apa ni, uh, some macam you uh, have some meetings with all the related stakeholder and people to discuss this, for that to for them to actually understand the issue and then to give the right information to the patient. So this is something that we can do in the district level. But if you ask me, in KKM level, maybe not so much for this issue. But I think something that KKM need to do in this issue is related that been sold by the seller. So we need to monitor all these herbs, all these drugs that been sold to the mother, so that the drugs is actually something safe. So this need to be monitored by the respected department in the KKM, so that mother do not consume any harmful drugs or herbs, and it can actually worsen the mother's health. So this is very important. So this is kind of policies that can be made in the KKM level.
Thank you, Dr. Hafiz.
Okay.
You have shared a very noble vision, not only for your NGO but for our Ministry of Health as a whole. Um, um, I would like to thank you for your efforts on the NGO level, and also your efforts assisting the frontliners, and for being kind enough to be interviewed today as part of our assignment, and as part of our public health as well. Perhaps some of the take-home messages that we could get from this interview would be four things. The first would be public health officials to play a leadership role in getting multiple stakeholders in creating awareness, specifically on the issue of harmful traditional practices among women. The second would be political will in concentrating groundwork efforts by NGOs, and also in addressing harmful practices, for example, vaccination. Third would be social media uh, outreach as a form of soft tool on the as a form of soft tool of health diplomacy. Malaysia's soft power on the international level. And finally, most importantly, since this is also an academic interview, the importance of having academic papers to validify and justify our experience and our approach towards tackling this. I would like to thank you for your time, Dr. Hafiz. I would like to thank you for your efforts, and hopefully there will be more instances where we will be able to collaborate further and work together in realizing this noble vision that you have for your NGO, for the medical fraternity, and for our Malaysian society.
Okay, thank you so much, Joshua, for inviting me. I'm honored to accept this invitation. I hope that what I have shared with you can be beneficial for those people that hear this, or maybe those people that can those people that watch this in the future. I hope that there something can be done, not just as interviews, but more concrete effort in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hafiz.